Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom through this body and through this mind. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom through this body and through this mind. And blessings be on the listener, the herself or the himself. Blessings to be on the listener, the herself or himself. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, and peace. You see, the most important thing in our lives is to sit quietly, silently. I always do it. So the rage in the mind, the rage in awareness comes to a focus before we get into the more profound state of reality or the more profound state of truth. It is important to zero the thoughts, you see. It's important to zero the thoughts before we get into it. When I was sitting here just not long ago, or like this, you were thinking in your mind, we wonder when would he start speaking. You see, there is always a friction in the human awareness. There's something gotta give. Something gotta give all the time. There is always that friction in human awareness. There's something gotta give all the time. But I will tell you the truth, that it's not necessary to give something or to do something all the time. Somebody has inquired about how to lessen or overcome or get rid of the feelings of jealousy in any relation. So the question is, the person has inquired that how to get rid of or to overcome on the feelings of jealousy. That's the person who has asked the question. And then again, I am here, my services are here. We'll look into it through different perspectives, through different approaches. It's a great thing that I have been in a state of meditation for at least last 1 hour. And this is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to look at the truth more profoundly. So we are just going to do that. Okay, so I pondered about that, and I am sure that it's very, very significant for us that we look into it. And the reason we are looking into this question, that how to overcome on jealousy or how to get rid of jealousy in any relationship, is because it is keeping a lot of human beings unfortunately restless. And if the human beings are restless because of their psychological drama and because of their thought, it does not mean that they are failing themselves. It means that I am failing them. Because my intention is to contribute my fair share, and which is to bring more clarity, and by bringing more clarity and by bringing self-awareness, I am bringing more happiness in the way they are looking at life. So jealousy basically, or the feelings of possessiveness, or the feelings of possessiveness, or the feelings of possession in a relationship or in any relationship would keep you extremely restless, and you would do a number of freaky things, and you would torment yourself in the process. Not only you would torment yourself in the process, but when you torment yourself, when you are preoccupied by any thoughts, it would reflect how you communicate or come in contact with other people. It would reflect on it. Please know that. So it's my job to bring clarity and look at the root cause of it. The answer to that, I would say, first of all, the root cause of jealousy is because, again, we have not taken enough time to understand the nature of life itself. You see, through the yoga and meditation, by sitting in a super silent corner, we every day make time for ourselves. You see, we are making time for ourselves, and we are trying to create a distance between what we essentially are and what we have accumulated. The reason we have jealousy in relationships or in any relationship is because we don't have clarity in our awareness. And that's the reason there is jealousy. The more clarity there is to understand the nature of life, the less jealousy there would be, or there would not be even any jealousy in any relationship, or the feeling of possession. In order to understand why there is jealousy in a relationship, you must first understand what the nature of life itself, or in other words, what's your nature. You need to understand that. The more you go in accord with the nature, the more at peace you would be. And the more you try to resist the nature, or the more you go against the nature, the more vulnerable and miserable you would be. Please remember that, okay? The more you are going in accord with the nature, the more at peace and happy you would be. And the more you are going against the nature, the more vulnerable and miserable you would be. It's a given, basically. The very nature of the being, of any being, I'm not specifying, or I'm not precising it, or I'm not zooming in just to solely to the human beings, if you understand what I mean. I'm not doing all these things just to be precise to the human beings, but what we understand as human beings, that race we see all around us, I mean in majority. So of course it goes mostly to what you understand as human beings, but I'm talking about everything in creation, the very nature of life I'm talking about, and then I will make you understand, or I would give you an option that why there is jealousy, because you are not taking enough time to understand the very nature of the life. The very nature of the being is to let go. You understand what I'm saying? The very nature, your very nature, my very nature, or anything in creation, the very nature of that thing is to let go. And when you try to cling on something, living in an illusion that is yours, basically would put you for suffering and would put you for misery. That's where the jealousy and the feeling of possession comes from. Now you understand what I'm saying. If you try to cling on something, living in an illusion that this thing is mine, basically would set you up for the misery, because now you are going against the nature of very life. The nature of life, basically, or the every being, everything in the creation, the very nature of it is to let go, basically. And try not to cling on it, but to let go. Let go means you cannot cling on anything. And your nature is to let go. But if you go against your very nature and you try to cling on something, thinking that it's your possession, it's your commodity, and then that's where the suffering starts. We see in the relationships a lot of it. A lot of people basically are being unfortunately miserable because they try to cling on something which cannot be theirs in any form or shape. It's an illusion. They live and they think that it can be theirs, but it cannot. Nature does not work that way. Nature works in a different way. As I said not long ago, only yesterday in that retreat, that the very what you perceive yourself automatically goes in the accord with the nature. But through the intellect or through the thinking mind, if you try to go against it, now there is a friction in your awareness, and that friction basically causes you to be restless all the time. So as I have mentioned, that when we look in a relationship, when we talk about relationship, an illusion, or we have a thought in our mind that it's got to be a relationship between two spouses. You see what I'm saying? It's a relationship between either husband and wife, or it's a relationship between wife and husband. Most of the time that clicks in our mind through thought. Or it's a relationship between girlfriend and boyfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend. I mean, these type of things basically automatically through thought you assume. But if we look around us, and when we look around us, we realize the relationship is not only between two people. The relationship can be out of a what you call it, a domestic or a romantic relationship. A relationship can be between two friends. A relationship can be among the family members. All these are different type of relationships. And when I am talking the how to lessen or get rid of the feelings of jealousy out of the relationship, the feelings of jealousy can be formed in any relationship. I want you to see that. Just not the relationship which is a romantic relationship between two people. The feeling of jealousy can be formed in any relationship. The feeling of possession can be formed in any relationship. Not long ago, we accomplished that the feeling of jealousy and the feeling of possession comes basically when you go against your own very nature, which is the nature of life. And the nature of life is to let go. You understand? Everything that you do, you nurture. As I said in the last message, not remember only yesterday, that you nurture what is being given to you. These are tools through which you would shed your karma. But having a feeling in your mind or some type of false thought in your mind that this is mine is not true. Starting from our own body and our own mind, we think this is ours. As a matter of fact, at this moment in time, I would not argue with that because I don't want you to get confused, but we even do not have the possession of full control on our body and mind, because when our time is up, you see, we either way, whether we like it or we do not like it, we're going to have to let it go, you see. And so when on the bigger scheme of things and in more clear picture, when our mind and our body is not ours, why are we living in an illusion and doing all type of freaky things and hurting ourselves in the process and those others around you by living in an illusion that this can be mine or this is mine? So let's live in more practical reality, but not the reality that you have been handed over or you have been told. And that kind of reality and that kind of awareness only comes in you when you take enough time to look at the things. So the very nature of life is to let go. I would give you an example, okay? I would give you an example. While you are watching my message, I'm trying to deliver a message answering your inquiry. I want you to take one thought and try to hold on to it. Let's see how far you go. You see what I'm saying to you? I want you to take one thought and hold on to it. When I'm asking you, or when I'm saying that you need to hold on to one thought, it means you just hold on to it in a way that you cannot have any awareness of any other thought but just that thought. And let's see how far can you go. So the answer, after a couple of seconds, you would realize it's not possible. You have to let the thought go. So that is the very nature of the being, to let go, basically. The second example I'll give you, the reason I'm giving you all these examples, so you can understand the first, your very nature. The second example I am going to give you is that very nature you manifest every day. Do you realize that? The very nature of yourself is to let go, and you manifest that very nature every day. And every day. I'm not even saying that periodically or anything like that. I'm saying you manifest your very nature every day. You see, what happens is, every day you wake up, every day you perform certain type of activities, every day you function in the society, you feel what you feel, you have thoughts, whatever you have thoughts about. Every day you do all this every day, okay? You have certain amount of energy in you, and then you use that energy to basically function or perform the activities you are expected or you think must be performed every day. In the end of the day, when there is night time, you lay down on bed. There is something inside you that is very subtle. You see, it does not have to verbalize. It does not have to verbalize. You understand what I'm saying? There's something within you is very subtle. And the very subtle is coming without a thought. Again, remember yesterday, the intelligence system, the very intelligent system of the body kicks in. And the very intelligent system of the body takes over you. And you, when I am saying you, it means you, me, every human being. And you let go of everything. Now you understand what I'm saying, and you fall asleep. What do you think sleeping is? When you are falling asleep, and when you go to sleep, when we go to sleep, we are letting everything go. Without even making a drama about it, without even thinking about it, without even verbalizing it in our mind. It's just a natural process, isn't it? That you go to sleep. And when you go to sleep, you let go. It's a fact. When I go to sleep, I let go. It's a fact. So you see the very nature of you. That's what I'm saying. The very nature of you is not to cling, but to nurture. That's number one. And number two, the very nature of you, I demonstrated through a metaphor of thought, and I demonstrated through the metaphor of sleep, that you don't even have to verbalize. The very nature of yourself is to let go. You see, and you let go, I let go. Whenever we all go to sleep, we let go. So when you understand your very nature, then you don't have jealousy, or you do not have possession, because you understand the very nature of me to let go. Yes, if it is there, if it is given to me, I would nurture it. See, the more you understand yourself, the more clear you are, then you don't suffer through the unfortunately, then you do not suffer by the feelings of jealousy and by the feeling of possessiveness. You know, on the bigger scheme of things, as I said not long ago, we do not have a possession or on our mind or on our body, because when we are saying we in this scenario, we are talking about how most people think. You see? We are not talking about exceptions here. We are talking about how most people think. The majority we are talking about here. And most people, unfortunately, think of themselves as a separate self. Separate self means they consider themselves as a body and a mind. And the thing is, if they were the body and mind, which I'm sure, and I know it from my own experience, I experience it every day during yoga and meditation, that if we were our own body and mind, then we would be eternal. Then there is no way that we would want to quit the body and mind. Then we would just live forever, eternal. Body and mind. But of course, we see all around us every day, it happens that somebody leaves the body and the mind. So here's the third example that I just proved, that we don't even have a possession on our body and our mind. When we don't even have possession on our body and on our mind, then what is basically the point of having an illusion within us that this person belongs to me, or you have read mine, my man, my woman, my babe, my this, my that. Now you can go ahead and ask me the question that what he has got against all these pet names in the relationship. I have nothing. I use pet names with my spouse, you see. I have nothing. I have nothing. I use pet names with my spouse, and I'm very happy about it, and so is she. but we both live in peace and harmony. I'm setting my own relationship as an example, because we both are very clear and we have the awareness in our mind that we are together. It's just like the two circles of light. In reality, I'm telling you, this is what's happening. There is the software and there is the hardware, and there is then operating system which controls the hardware to produce results for the software. You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking about the operating system itself, the reality which lies behind this three-dimensional reality. So what's happening in reality, and the way we can even see that way. You see? That's the fascinating part of it. So what's happening in the reality, that there are two circles of light and they are in a band together. You see, there are two circles of light and they are in a band together. They are banding with each other. That's what's exactly happening. And these two circles of light have the awareness that we cannot have any feelings of possession. You see, because jealousy and feeling of possession is nothing but a thought. You see, a thought is telling you this is mine, and then of course, if the circumstances go against what the thought tells you, you become restless. But we have in our relationship that two circles of light are banding together and nurturing each other, but no feeling of jealousy, no feeling of possession, and the more and the less or none at all feeling of jealousy or possession there is, the beautiful relationship. No matter what type of relationship that is, it's a relationship in the family, it's a relationship between two, it's a romantic relationship, or it's the relationship of friendship, or any type of relationship. If there is more clarity and there is more awareness in you, the more beautiful and strong the relationship there is. Remember that. You see? If a relationship basically is formed on jealousy, if you have jealousy in your relationship, unfortunately, if you are living in an illusion that your partner is yours, that if you are living in an illusion that one day your partner will be taken away from you, if you are living in an illusion that your partner only can be solely only for you but nobody else, these are all illusions, by the way. Whether you understand what I'm saying or you don't understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, watch the entire video again. That's fine with me. But these are all the illusions. It would never be true. In your mind, however, you would suffer in the process tremendously. You see? Because you would start doing freaky things. You would bore on the thought, and thought would take you forever. And you would become very sick from it. You know, it can make you sick, unfortunately. It can make you very unpleasant, because now you are totally preoccupied. All your awareness or all your self-consciousness, what you essentially are, now have zeroed in onto something, and it has boundaries now. Now you are not living in sacred. Now you are not in touch with divine, because all it has come to a focus, to a particular person. That's all you can think. That's all, and you are missing everything in the process. You see? And when you are focusing on something so much, of course, it would make thoughts, or mind would never get tired of it. You, however, in the process, unfortunately, would be abused by your own thoughts, which are basically based on an illusion that somebody can be yours. Nobody can be yours. That's it. That's the truth. You see, and when you accept the truth that if something or someone has been given to me, I would nurture this relationship. I would nurture this relationship. I would make the best out of this relationship. Absolutely. But I have the clarity in my mind, it's not mine. You see, it's there so I can grow about something. If there is some karma to shed, I can shed the karma. But at the end of the day, it is not mine. It belongs to nobody. It belongs to nobody. That's how it is. When we say nobody or no one, it has no boundaries. That's why I'm trying to tell you. So that's the awareness or the clarity I'm trying to bring on you, that our very nature is to let go. And when, of course, we cannot feel, it's very unrealistic, it's an illusion for us to even think that this mind and this body is ours. The life running through this mind and body decides when to leave, so it's not even ours. If it was ours, we would live eternally, but that's not happening. You see all around you. I'm not talking something fictional, or I'm not talking something very complicated for you to understand. I'm trying to give you clarity through your living experience. You see that happening all the time, the bodies and the mind. One day would be our time when the life running through us decides to leave this body and mind, and we would leave this body and mind. There is no reason to freak out about it. It's just the course of nature. The very nature whose basically the very life whose nature is to also let go. Nurture it, but when the time comes, let go. You see, you are letting go. Don't you see that? Have you paid attention to this? You are breathing in and you are letting go. You are breathing in, you are letting go. You are breathing in, you are letting go. You are letting go every single moment that you are living. You are letting go. It's your very basic nature. Second, I demonstrated through a thought. Take a thought, try to hold on to it. When I say hold on to it, does not mean that you are having 2-3 thoughts simultaneously. You have to cling to that one thought without even having any understanding of anything else. And of course, more than 2 seconds, boom, you cannot do that. The second, I demonstrated that your very nature is to let go. So go in accord with the nature, you see. Do not go against the nature. The only you, as Krishnamurti said, that the only you are choiceless consciousness, sir. It means that you have no other option but to evolve. You see, you the separate self, who the mind and psychological drama thinks sometimes that why am I? Or why am I? Or why wasn't I given the choice either be or not be? That's not even on the table. That's off the table. That's off the chart. You see, Krishnamurti said you are choiceless consciousness, means you are. You don't have a choice on it. You don't have a choice on it. You just are. And you have no choice but to evolve. Means you have to go through certain experiences. You have to go through certain situations in order to shed your karma and to grow. Okay? In order to get to in the light, or what the Buddha said, nirvana, or what the Lord Christ said, the kingdom of heaven. It's all the same thing. These beautiful sages are approaching the same thing through different names and through different understanding, but indicating to the same reality. So go in accord with the nature. You see what I'm saying? Do not go against it. The very nature is to let go. You are trying to cling on something. It can be a romantic relationship. It can be a relationship in friendship. It can be a relationship in the family. You see people suffering based on an illusion that this person is mine. My man, my woman, my girlfriend, this or that. Yeah, you can use these terms. There's nothing wrong to use these terms, but have the awareness, no mine here. You see, there is no mind. There is just truth of the moment. There is no mind. The sooner you accept that, the more at peace you would be. Please know that. Okay, then you wouldn't do freaky things, then you wouldn't look at your phone, then you would not fabricate your imagination looking on the phone over and over. Some beautiful person, your well-wisher, is coming into contact with you. Hey, how are you? I was wondering how you're doing. And you are looking at your phone because you are preoccupied what your girlfriend is doing, maybe cheating on you. Or vice versa, you are preoccupied what your husband is doing, maybe cheating on you, vice versa. You see, you cannot know truth through thinking. Haven't I said that in numerous videos before? Through thinking you cannot know truth, people. Know that, my loved ones, I am telling you again. Through thinking you can only know what you know. However, mind can be very unfriendly if you do not understand the nature of it and if you do not take time to tame it, which is what we do, which is what I do through yoga and meditation. Mind can be very unfriendly if you do not tame it or train it. You cannot stop it. It's not realistic. However, you can tame it and you can train it. You understand what I'm saying? Mind can be very unfriendly. You cannot know anything through your psychological drama that you are sitting over there and looking what your spouse is doing, if it is a romantic relationship, or what your friend is doing, if it is the jealousy in the friendship. What you are doing, you are seeking attention from one person constantly. It's not realistic. It wouldn't work. You see, you think this person is mine. It's an illusion. The entire thing is based on illusion. How can you even possibly think is going to work? If you have to put so much efforts to keep something, if you have to go through with so much misery and jealousy to keep something, then what's the point of keeping it? Isn't it smart to think and ask that question to yourself? You see, you ask for my help, and what I do, I give you everything I have through my self-awareness, through my focus, through my dedication to my practice, which is meditation, and through wisdom. I'm delivering you pure wisdom, and pure wisdom is common sense because it's common to all human beings. I'm trying to help you so you wouldn't suffer in the process, people, my loved ones. As I said, I love all humanity and I want them to be happy. Not sitting on the phone, stalking your partner or your spouse, stalking practically, going around through thinking, creating psychological drama. You cannot know anything through thinking. Don't you see that? Through thinking, what you are knowing is what you already know. There is no wisdom in that. There is no fun in that either. You are just knowing everything what you know. You are knowing your entire knowledge, what you have already perceived. Your mind also is getting full, so it's rearranging what you are and making scenarios and doing the fabrication and say, I have a lot of experience with that. That's what is happening. This is the truth. No, this is not even close to any type of truth. Truth is silent. You see, truth is silent. It does not come with words. What you are having in your mind are words and thoughts. Truth is total silent. It does not come with words. Truth is what you perceive at any given moment. That's what truth is. This is not true. This is your psychological drama. You are preoccupied in it. You are hurting yourself in the process because you are possessive and you have a feeling of jealousy because you are seeking attention from one person. That person becomes, it's expected now from that person to give you attention all the time, which is not going to happen. You see, because life does not revolve around you. Life is happening without barriers. Life is happening without any boundaries. Life is not happening with the borders. Life does not even recognize what is you and what is the romantic relationship and what your partners or your feelings of jealousy or possession. Life does not recognize all this. You see, life is happening and is giving birth to different form and different shapes, what we understand in Sanskrit as nama rupa, in Advaita Vedanta. This is total, this awareness would lead you to ultimate liberation, where you don't have attachments. When there is no attachment, there is no suffering. Have you not noticed that? It's a given. Nurturing something and being attached to it are two separate things. Most people don't realize that. Please, it is very important for you to remember at all times. Nurturing something and being attached to it are two separate things. Yes, you can be in a very loving relationship and you can nurture a partner, and two partners can nurture each other, no matter what the type of the relationship or the nature of your relationship is. It is very possible. However, being too attached to it is going to put you on suffering, is going to put you on misery, endless misery. You cannot imagine the misery, unfortunately, you would incur if you are too attached to it, or you are attached to it even at all. You see, do not get attached. Do not think it's yours, basically. This person is yours. Do not think that this person is my possession, or this person is my commodity, or this person can only be mine. You see, nothing can only be mine, starting from my own body and starting from my own mind. When my own body and my own mind cannot be even mine, or is not what I essentially am, then what is the point of having the feeling of possession and jealousy that this person is mine? When you cannot control this as yours, you see what I'm saying? When you don't have any possession on this, the life which is running through this body and mind has the upper hand. When you don't even, the separate self, the separate self, when it does not even have the possession on the thought process and the body, then how can you even think that you can possess somebody else? It's not gonna happen. It's only gonna put you on more misery. You would become very miserable. You would become very possessive. You would look at your text messages. You would fabricate your imagination that something is going on. You would not respond on time. You would live in an illusion. You would make tons of assumptions. And if you have to do all this in order to support an illusion that somebody is yours, then what's the point of doing it? You see, in the very first place, that's a smartness, that's pure wisdom, to look things more clearly, instead of feeling jealous and fabricating imaginations. She's probably doing this, he's probably doing that. It's all in your mind, you see. The person is doing what the person is doing. You need to know that. The person is doing what the person is doing. But what you are perceiving are your own thoughts. Thought is something that you already know. Now the mind is in action. It's rearranging all the data and giving you the full scenarios, and you are thinking it's real. You become more vulnerable. You become more miserable. Somebody's trying to approach you through sincerity. You are pushing them, hey, right now I'm busy, or any number of things. Now right now I'm busy with what again? Busy with the psychological drama, the endless psychological drama, you see, which never ends. So all this, I have been talking for almost last 50 minutes with you here. All this, I have given you the awareness and the clarity. The very nature of the being is to let go. I have demonstrated. When the very nature of the being is to let go, then go in accord with the nature, not go against it. Otherwise, you would always have a friction in your mind. Always. Learn to become silent. Learn to sit attentive in silence.